Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It is officially Halloween season. It's October and this is one of my favorite months and favorite holidays. So I thought it would be really fun to just keep in the theme of my Throwback Palette Thursdays and do a little tutorial for a smoky eye that's kind of spooky. And for that we are going to use the Naked palette by Urban Decay, and this is the Naked Smoky palette. So I will dip into this and swatch all of these for you guys. Here's what the palette's looking like. You've got some cool tones in there. You've got a nice transition, couple light colors. You've got a black that you can use to line. So lots of different options in there. You get a nice size mirror in there. And this one did come with a little tapered brush, dual-ended brush. So if you like this kind of video, if you like my Palette Throwback Thursdays, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell so that you are notified when I upload new videos. Let's jump right into today's video. Okay guys, so we are nice and zoomed in, and so that you guys can see everything I'm doing, I've got my hair pulled back so it doesn't get in the way of you guys seeing everything. And I'm going to go ahead and prime my lids with a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape. Okay, so let's go ahead and dip into the palette. I want to go ahead and swatch it for you guys so you can see what the colors are looking like. So I'm going to start off with the shade High, and then we'll just go down through the palette. So this is the shade High right here, and then you've got Dirty Sweet, Radar, and Armor. These are more your cool toned, darker colors. So this is Slanted, Little Chunky, Dagger, Black Market, and Smolder. That one's kind of a purpley, dark purple. And for the last four shades in the palette, we've got Password, Whiskey, Combust, it's like a flesh toned, and 13. That's like a cream colored. So there's all your shades. So you get a brown, you get a kind of a chocolate brown, you get kind of a smoky gray, you get a little bit of a black. So you get a highlighting color, brow bone color, lots of different options in here. You can create a couple different types of smoky looks with this palette. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I want to go ahead and do a transition shade in the crease just to lay down a base color for the rest of the shadows to go on top of. And to do that, I'm going to go into the shade Combust, which is the second lightest matte in the palette. I'm going to take that on a fluffy blending brush like this. Just going to kind of dip in, and I'm just using the mirror that comes in here. This is a really nice size mirror. This is a very neutral transition shade, so from this shade you can kind of go anywhere with it. It's not really cool toned, it's not really warm toned, it's just a very neutral transition. So if you wanted to go more brown with it, you could. If you wanted to go gray after this, you could. This is just a really, really nice transition shade that's very neutral undertones. Alright, so for today's look, I'm going for a little bit more gray, smoky look, kind of a Halloween type spooky vibe to go with this sweater that I got that's super cute. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip into the shade Password, which is this gray matte right here. And I'm taking that on a Morphe M431. I'm going to just stamp that right on the outer edge. The thing about a smoky eye is when you're doing it first, you don't really have to worry as much about getting it everywhere, but I like to kind of build as I go instead of going super intensely off the bat, because if I go in too intense, it's harder to diffuse out. So if I just build as I go, I can get the look I want. It just takes a little bit more time. I'm just continuing to go back into that shade Password and just building up the intensity. I'm going a little into the crease. So what I want to do now is I want to go on a flat brush, and we'll go on this EcoTools Accent Shadow Brush. I'm going to go into the shade Dagger right here. And it's a gray. It's not necessarily a matte. It's kind of got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's also not a metallic. So I'm just going to dip into that and put that right in the center of the lid. I'm keeping it pretty close to the lash line. I'm turning my brush so it's more flat, and I'm just kind of smoking it into that other color close to the lash line. So now I'm going to go into the shade Slanted. This is a metallic gray. And I'm going to take that on a little flat brush. This is a Morphe M508. Just going to grab some of that on the brush. We're going to put that right on the inner portion of the eye. Alright, so now I'm going to go into this tapered blending brush. I'm going to dip into Password, which is that gray matte in the palette. Knock some of that off, and we're just going to blend the crease with the rest of our shades. And I'm not using a ton of pressure, just very light pressure back and forth. So now let's put on some metallics. I want to go into the shade Armor, which is this one right here. I'm just going to go in with my fingertip right into the center of the lid with that, and I'm just making sure I press down so that it adheres to my lid. Now I'm going to dip into the shade Smolder. This is that kind of darker purple with like a black undertone. I'm going to take that on my pinky finger. I'm going to put that right on the outer edge. Alright, so now I'm going to dip into the shade High and 13, which is the lighter matte in the palette and the lightest metallic in the palette. So what I want to do with that is first, I'm going to pick some up on this brush right here. We're going to go right into 13. This is the lightest matte in the palette. I'm going to go right on the brow bone and just do a couple swipes. Then I'm going to go back into there. I'm going right into the inner portion of my eye here. And I'm just kind of sweeping it, following the line of the brow. Just want to bring a little bit of brightness to that area. So now we can dip into this shade High, which is the lightest metallic in the palette. And it's got kind of a pinkish gray undertone. So I'm dipping into that with this liner smudge brush from EcoTools. It's a really concentrated tapered brush like this, and I'm just going to go right into the inner corner here. I will take a tapered blending brush and we'll dip into 13 and High at the same time. And we will go right on the inner portion of the eye with those. Right, just following the line of the brow. Okay? I'm going to take a little bit of that shade High on my fingertip and just press it right to the inner corner. So now let's go back into Combust, which is that neutral transition shade, and Password, which is that gray. Knock a little off. Let's just make sure we're nice and blended on the edge of these metallics. Right, that's looking really good, guys. Let's go ahead and line. What I would like to line with is this Black Market shade. And this is the darkest shade in the palette, and it is like a black satin shade. It's not a true matte. I'm dipping into that on a Morphe M508. I'm going to go super close to the lash line. So that is it for one eye, you guys. I've got a little bit of fallout under here, some of the black, some of the gray. That's why I like to do my eyes first when I'm doing a smoky eye. And I can clean that right up with a makeup wipe. And let's do the rest of our face and the other eye, and then I will pop back in to show you guys what we're going to do with the lower lash line. Okay guys, this is the look completed. Let's go ahead and throw on a lip. I want to do a red lip with this look. So I'm going to use the e.l.f. matte lip color. This is in the shade Wine, and we'll use that to line and kind of fill in a little bit. And then I have this cute little mini from L'Oreal. This is the Rouge Signature, and this is in some shade that I don't know because it's not on here. We're just going to say red. Obviously, if you got this full size, it would have a full size wand, but I just got this little mini. Okay, I like the applicator. It's like a pointy little applicator. You can really get in the corner of your lip really well. I think if I had the full size one, I would have been able to get a little bit straighter line. I got a little scared there. whenever I was doing the top. But I think it turned out good. I'm glad I lined because probably would have been a disaster if I didn't. But I think it turned out really cute. Nice little Halloween smoky look for you guys using this Naked palette by Urban Decay. This is the Naked Smokey. Came out a couple years ago. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I am excited that it is officially Halloween season. It's officially October and we can get into all the fun decorations and activities that come along with fall and Halloween. So I hope you guys are having a great day or night wherever you guys are, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.